See, alright, so first and foremost, and I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say double and Apostle, and let's agree with and rule teachers of personal truth. And we see salutations for the Yakim, so the push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or the season, risking their life on a daily basis. We say Shalom. Once again, going into our video here, and it's basically touching upon the wickedness of Esau, but this goes into this video here. Right? Let me play it.
Days of fires are ahead of us. Because I truly think the best days of fires are ahead of us. Because COVID was, for me, like a rehearsal, a prova generale, how you can mobilize an organization and do the impossible possible against a main disease. We are after cancer and many other things in the years to come. Because COVID was, for me, like a rehearsal.
So what he said, it was, let me also read the title here. It says, I truly think the best days of fires are ahead of us. Because, I would say the C word because, all YouTubers, when it comes to, like, speaking about the situation. Even doing this video here, the video can get strike and remove. But nonetheless, the truth had to come out. Right? So he said because the vid, I would just say the vid, was for me like a rehearsal, and that is what the literally is, a rehearsal, and that is what we were saying, right? But Jake, they when they tell them these things, it's like, they would call it names like a conspiracy theorist, a liar, and all this other stuff, but it coming out the donkey's mouth, right?
Prova generale, how rehearsal, prova generale. How you can mobilize an organization.
We say it's how to proven how to mobilize a institution.
Prova generale, how you can mobilize an organization.
Mobilize an organization, and you see what it did when it comes to like the changing up of certain things. When they go into a business, they're doing what? Scanning your hands, scanning your thing. You had also wearing your mask, basically compliance, right? Now this is the book of Psalms chapter 5. And I go read from I'm gonna read from verse 9. It says, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their truth is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue, and as the scripture said, it says, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. And you can literally see it here. Whereas in the beginning, if you could recall years ago, they're saying that this thing was to help. This is beneficial. This will stop the spread of what was happening at the particular time. No, you're hearing that he's saying that this was a what? He's saying,
do the impossible. I truly think the best days of fires are ahead of us. Because COVID was,
saying that this was a rehearsal.
For me, like a rehearsal.
A rehearsal, and that is what it did. And these are things you were saying when he was going into it and so forth. Years ago, obviously some of the videos get taken down, some of the brothers' pages get removed, about speaking out about these things, right? But brothers went into it, talking about this was something greater to come. And we some years after now, where they're talking about the digital ID, and they're basically using the same scanning and process to do certain things, right? So that's what the scriptures say, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth, right? Now, when you look up faithfulness, just look up the word faithfulness, right? Faithfulness. I just a quick Google meaning, right? Meaning. Right? Faithfulness. They say the quality of being loyal and steadfast, and you would not find that loyalty from Esau, right? There's a man that the scriptures call him a covenant breaker. So let's go to Psalms, right? The book of Psalms 55, and I'll go read from verse 21. That's not verse 21. Let me read from 20, right? It say, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant, and that is what they are. They are what? Covenant breakers. So there is no loyalty in Esau. You're not going and find faithfulness in them, right? Because when you look at the word faithfulness, it say the quality of being loyal and steadfast, right? See if I get next. It say what does faithfulness mean biblically? It say when we're faithful to God, it means that we trust that He will care for us. We follow where He leads and we love Him in return, right? It say what is the real meaning of faithful? It says steadfast in affection or allegiance. It say loyal, a faithful friend. And you're not going to get that from enemy. You're not going to get no loyalty from this guy. Scriptures call him a bloody man, right? The violent man. What loyalty you going to get from a person like that, right? So there's no faithfulness in Esau. So that would say, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant, right? So there's no loyalty together. He literally break his covenant, right? They say the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, right? And this to show you how twist tongue Esau is. You know how they had a serpent tongue. You know what they was telling people in the beginning of when the situation took place, and watch how much years after. And through all the years you started to hear the truth about what it was and why the reason why they was doing these things. Now we in 2025, the ending up of it, of the year 2025, and now you've seen all these information coming out that it was just a rehearsal, right? And listen to what he said here.
For me, like a rehearsal, prova generale, how you can mobilize an organization.
To mobilize an organization, and we know what the kind of laws did it pass. Now we heading into something called the digital ID, and what the kind of compliance they want businesses to follow when it comes to this thing. Watch what it is they want people to do, what it is they want people to take, right? Why would we trust this guy? Right? The scriptures talk about trusting the enemy. Never trust the enemy. But Jake, these two things outside here, they run to take what was given unto them from the enemy and watch what happened in the long run. Right? So it said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So yeah. And that is so fair. The words that seem so smooth, but it's really war in their heart. You understand? So going back to the Psalms chapter 5, right? Verse 9, it says, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. The inward part is very wickedness, and that is what the inward part is. So you see, what was the true plans? What was the agenda? What was the agenda? Why they did it the way they did it, right? So that would say the inward part is very wickedness. Is very what wickedness, the stuff that they did is and the stuff that they are going to do because it ain't done. You feel Esau, his kingdom is fallen, and because they know it's fallen, they had to keep it up, and they're going and bring all the stuff that they want to do. You see how quick they're moving when it comes to certain things. Countries after countries are changing the whole system when it comes to this digital system, right? And it's not, and the thing about it is that none of these things is going to be beneficial to you. These things are not being done to help you, right? It's not. That's why I'd say the inward part is very wickedness. It may seem good, but it's not. And just like that, you hear the information here that, hey, this was the sea was just a rehearsal. It was just a rehearsal for something, for them it would be something better to come. But for Jake, it's something worse. So it say their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue, right? They flatter with their tongue, right? Psalm chapter 10, let me read from verse 2. It say the wicked in his pride don't persecute the poor. Let them be taken in devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasted of his heart desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be an adversity. And that's how you sort of think that they're never going to unfold. Right? They never that none of the judgments are written in the scriptures say for them they're going to happen unto them. Right? You know that virgin untouched. But soon they're going to be touched, right? It's a for he had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right? So it emphasizing how two-tongued Esau is. Emphasizing how we're not supposed to believe in the words that they be saying. Right? And again, we already understand that because we know that this is our enemies. Right? But for these 2/3, for these jakes outside here, right, that believe every word that Esau say, hey, listen to what the scripture is saying about them. Listen to what the scripture is saying about what comes out of their mouth. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit. You know, should I look up the word deceit for you? Deceit meaning, right? Deceit meaning, it says the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. And this was a misrepresentation of the truth. Whereas in the beginning they tell you this was beneficial for you. Now you're hearing the saying is it's a rehearsal. How to mobilize an organization.
Against another. How you can mobilize an organization.
Here you're hearing it. You're hearing the truth now coming out. So the deceit really in the mouth. Because why? There was lying, there was deceiving, there was concealing the truth from you.
And do the possible against a main disease. We are after cancer and many other things.
Right? So going back to the scripture now, it's a verse 7, Psalms 10 verse 7, it says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And that is why it is under his tongue, mischief and vanity. Right? And that again, that is where you're going to get from Esau. What good going and come from the wicked? You know? That way it's all that part. It say this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 13 verse 23. It say, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So yeah, once you how someone that are accustomed doing evil could do good? They can't, right? They can't. So there is no good to come from Esau, right? So all these things that they're bringing, you know it's not to benefit you, right? It's not to benefit you, right? Because again, in the mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, right? There's trickery. The scriptures talk about the wiles of the devil, right? All this information coming out. They just have to go on the news every single day and new stuff coming out about what happened in 2020 and what was the full agendas at hand, right? Yeah. So going now to another scripture. Come on, do that. Psalms. Oh, the book of Psalms. That scripture I was looking for here. All right, let me go to Psalms 64 verse 3. It says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even better words. It said that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, so that they shoot at him and fear not. Right? It say so that way it say what? They say who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows even better words. Right? And that is Esau fear. That's Esau fear. So we're not supposed to trust them. Just watch how much information coming out about the things that they did, the things that Jake went and rushed to take. You know, they were first in line. You know, you're hearing the truth now. So never trust thine enemy. Right? So with that, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashemi, Sheba, Shemi Kakadash. We say that on our personal elders, a great Muslim ruler, teaches our personal truth. And we say salutation, so the come to push with the truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season. We say, Shalom.